In news that realistically should not surprise anyone, Genshin Impact has actually surpassed $3 billion on mobile, averaging $1 billion earned every 6 months. Quick shout out to my patrons over on Patreon, by the way. Since this channel is not monetized, every patron counts. Now, this is specifically pertaining to mobile devices only. This does not track PC purchases. This does not track anything other than mobile specifically. So while it does go on to state $3 billion total, $1 billion every 6 months, it is likely far beyond that. Now, Sensor Tower, which tracks how much money every mobile game makes, how many active downloads it gets on which platforms, went and made a blog post titled Genshin Impact surpasses $3 billion on mobile, averages $1 billion every 6 months. This was the world's top grossing gacha-based mobile game in the first quarter of 2022. Genshin Impact from MiHoYo has surpassed $3 billion in global lifetime player spending across the App Store and the Google Play Store since its official launch on September 28, 2020. Following its worldwide release, the title took 171 days to generate its first $1 billion on mobile, not including spending through third-party Android stores. It then took an extra 195 days to accumulate a further $1 billion, resulting in the title picking up $2 billion in its first year alone, which is almost unheard of. Genshin Impact crossed the $3 billion milestone a mere 185 days later, meaning that the game has averaged revenue of $1 billion every 6 months, making it one of the most successful mobile games of all time. Analyzing the title using Sensor Tower's new monetization fields, in the first quarter of 2022, it ranked as the #1 revenue-generating gacha-based mobile title globally, above titles such as Lineage W from NCSoft and even Umamusume Pretty Derby from CyberAgent. Genshin Impact regularly implements significant updates, introducing new gameplay features, new areas to explore, and characters to obtain, resulting in large spikes in revenue on average every 3 weeks. Since its launch, the title has ranked as the #3 revenue-generating mobile title globally, behind Honor of Kings from Tencent at #1, and PUBG Mobile, localized as Game for Peace in China, also from Tencent at #2. China ranks as the #1 revenue-generating country since Genshin Impact's global launch, generating $973.3 million to date, or 30.7% of global players' spending on iOS alone. Japan ranks #2 with 23.7% of lifetime revenue, while the United States ranks as #3 with 19.7%. While the title can be considered a global success, Genshin Impact generates most of its revenue in Asia, which accounts for close to 70% of total player spending to date. The App Store makes up the lion's share of player spending, accounting for 65.7% of total revenue, thanks in large part due to revenue from iOS in China. Google Play, meanwhile, accounts for 34.3% of total player spending. Outside of China, the share of revenue is much closer, with the App Store accounting for 50.5%, while Google Play makes up 49.5%. Genshin Impact continues to be one of the world's most lucrative mobile games, having consistently brought in $1 billion every 6 months on average. Players remain highly engaged with, and I'm gonna just stop there just briefly for a moment. Yes, they remain highly engaged, but highly engaged pretty much doing the same dailies and running the same content repetitiously every day, because God forbid we miss a day. But players remain highly engaged, with average worldwide monthly active users in the first quarter of 2022 up by approximately 44% year over year. Its success has been powered by MiHoYo's impressive live ops strategy, which has put the title well on track to hit the $4 billion landmark later this year. And honestly, regardless of whether you love or hate Genshin Impact and its success, there's really no denying it. Now, if you're not interested in playing Genshin Impact, and honestly I wouldn't blame you, it's not for everyone, I do have a list of games on screen right now that are slated to come out this year for those of you that are interested.